This is a geometry question. You know, we have a picture, we have some geometry terms, things like isosceles. Now, we can kind of get away with not really knowing them because the picture does us a favor and kind of tells us what it means, right? An isosceles triangle has two equal sides opposite two equal angles. So we can see that in both cases, they kind of showed us which sides are equal. They do need to do that for us, but it kind of maybe refreshes your memory on what an isosceles triangle is. The rest then is kind of just filling in the blanks, right? So if y is 75, well, I could figure out these two angles, but I don't need to, right? I need to move into the other triangle. And there's no rule here of geometry that would move us into that other one because these triangles are like disconnected in a way. There's nothing common between them. They have a point that they share, but it's not like vertical angles where the lines continue through the point. These lines are bent, and so the rules there don't hold. But they did tell us kind of an algebraic rule for us to follow. So that's what we want to look at here. So let's just substitute in. 180 minus z is equal to 2y, where y is 75. Okay, we can solve for z, and that's 150. So we subtract 180 from both sides. We get negative z is equal to negative 30. So z is equal to 30. Okay, cool. Now, why is that helpful? Well, this is where the isosceles triangle piece really comes in. Is if we know that this is 30 right here, let's see if I can squeeze it in a way that makes sense. We know that these two angles have to be the same because they're opposite sides that are the same. That's just like a rule for triangles, right? That the equal angles are opposite equal sides. So we also need to know that there's 180 degrees in a triangle. They do say that at the beginning of each math section, so you should memorize that, but it's there if you need it. And so what we have is z already takes care of 30 of those degrees. So that leaves us with 150 left. But that's divided by two angles, right? So these two angles together are 150. So we should divide that value by 2 to get the value of each angle, which is 75, which is kind of weird. That's kind of what we had before. But that's this value. And then how does x relate to that? Well, let me see if I can use the highlighter here. These angles together make 180 degrees. And we know that because those angles are supplementary. They're on a line. And so that's another rule for angles. It's one we do need to memorize. It's not provided for us, but it kind of makes sense if we remember that like the full way around a point would be 360 degrees, a circle. We're halfway, right? So that's half of 360 is 180. But it's better to just remember these are supplementary angles. And so if that angle inside is 75, then whatever is left over is going to be the value of x. And so that's 105, and that's the answer. Kind of annoying. It's just kind of, we have to use normal angle rules on top of some random algebra that's giving us rules. So it can get kind of confusing to keep in mind which things are always true and which things are true just in this particular problem. And so the things to really think about are that a triangle has 180 degrees. Let me write this. Triangle is 180 degrees. A isosceles triangle has two equal angles. And that supplementary angles also equal 180 degrees. I think that is enough to get everything. And you will need it on other questions on the SAT, so memorize it and you should be good to go.